Same old back trouble popped up after yesterday's trip to Starkville. Hurting last night, hurting this morning, don't really know what caused it. So out here on a beautiful Saturday morning trying to walk it out just a little bit. Hopefully it'll loosen up. Old man problems. Today's Saturday. It was Friday afternoon around 5. And I thought it was a brilliant move for them to go ahead and put those opponents out for everybody on Friday afternoon. The Friday news release for the SEC was brilliant because it had everybody talking about it, excited on a Friday afternoon at 5 when in this part of the country there ain't a whole lot going on. And it just grabbed some headlines. It'll stay there. It grabbed the headlines and dominated the afternoon radio shows on a Friday. And it'll do the same thing on Monday too. So it really was a brilliant move to put it out when they did. What they did was exactly what they said they were going to do, and that is try to add opponents without really fouling up everybody's strength of schedule. Try to do it as evenly as possible. They talked about an algorithm and all that stuff. Well, the algorithm they used was basically the Football Power Index from ESPN, and my thoughts are, you know, that's as good as any other metric or ranking that they have available to them right now at this time. Add opponents for everybody that would even it out so that nobody was getting the short end. When you look at what they did, they nailed it. Pat Smith Radio on Twitter showed you in a series of tweets how the Football Power Index, if you go by the Football Power Index and use the average opponent FPI strength, everybody's in the same ballpark. Missouri doesn't have really a complaint, even though it looks like they do. Arkansas may be the only one that has a little bit of a complaint, but all in all, they're all pretty much in the same ballpark. And so I think the SEC nailed it. When I saw the average opponents, they did a nice job. They added in, you know, some tough opponents on schedules, but still the overall rank of everybody across the league was not really swayed one way or the other based on what they added. And I know that Arkansas fans, Missouri fans may be complaining about it right now or not believe that, but it really is true. They did what they said they were going to do. To the people freaking out about the schedule, whether it's about your school and the teams that got added, or, you know, the media people kind of freaking out about it, think about this. It's 2 games. It's 2 opponents. I mean, it does not make the majority difference of somebody's schedule one way or the other on a 10-game schedule in a year when we're in a pandemic. The last thing that really makes any sense is to add any 2 opponents to a schedule and flip out about those 2 opponents. Selfishly, really happy to see Athens and the trip back to Georgia on there. I know it's a likely loss for the team. You know, Georgia's really good, but I love driving to Georgia. I love driving through there, which I'll probably drive this year. Love their city and their campus. So if I get to go, great. And I really hope it works out that way. And of course, getting to host Vanderbilt with what State has on its schedule, road trip Tuscaloosa, road trip LSU, road trip Georgia. It balanced their schedule to bring Vanderbilt in there and give State a chance to win a home game. But it's not a given. Vandy may come in there and win. It's certainly not a given. It's, you know, 1/5 of your schedule. It's not as big a deal as some people wanted to make it out to be. The real scheduling issue for the SEC began way back when. Not so much the 8 conference games plus 4 non-conference, one of them a mandated Power 5, but the fact that they chose to go the route of a permanent cross-division rival for everybody instead of rotating them equally. It always has been a joke. You know, it's like Auburn's in the West. They want to be in the West, but they want to play Georgia every year. We can't break that up. And it is a little bit of a rivalry, even though they're not in the same division. Same thing for Alabama, Tennessee. But those 4 teams and those 2 games have always held the rest of the league hostage on their scheduling. And that's why they said, well, if we do it for Alabama and Auburn, Georgia and Tennessee, we've got to do it for everybody else. So I tell you what, State, your permanent division, cross-division rival is Kentucky. And Texas A&M, your permanent cross-division rival is South Carolina. Well, not a single soul cares about seeing that game every year. Rotate it, fine. A few years, yeah. And the fact that that causes us to be in a situation where those other teams, you'll go to their stadiums once every 12 years. State will go to Gainesville once every 12 years. It is an absolute travesty, in my opinion. Now, the overall on this, I don't think teams are going to get all 10 of their games played. And I realize that right now, as I'm recording this on Saturday, there's all kinds of stuff all over Twitter. The MAC canceling their season. The Big Ten presidents having a meeting. Wondering if the Big Ten is going to cancel and more dominoes to fall and all that kind of stuff. I'll be utterly shocked if the SEC does not play some games this fall. I think there's very little chance that the SEC has a blanket cancellation of their season. There will be some football games played this fall. So even though some people may want to make it out that way, that if one league does it, that means the rest are going to. No, that's just not the case. There will be some games played this fall. It's just a matter of who and how many. I don't think the SEC teams are going to get all 10 of their games in. I think very few SEC teams are going to play 10 games this fall. That's just my thoughts on it.